As we get closer and closer to 2022, more news outlets seem to be starting to agree with me about what's coming in the spring. So let's talk about that. And if you stay tuned to the end of the video, you will see a sneak preview of our 10K t-shirt, which I've done most of the work on now. This episode is sponsored by DataCamp. We all know that big data is a huge part of what's going on in the world today, from ad tracking to medical records and climate modelling. But understanding how data is used and how to make the most of it can make it all seem way less scary, from machine learning and deep learning to how it applies to the Internet of Things. Whether you're a complete beginner or a data pro, you can take DataCamp's free assessment and get personalised learning recommendations. Once you've followed the courses, you can apply what you've learned in the practice sessions or full-on projects to really test what you know. Unlock new career opportunities and become data fluent today. Use my link in the description box below and check out the first chapter of any DataCamp course for free. Thank you to DataCamp for supporting iCave Dave. I've been saying for some time that Apple's next event in the spring of 2022 is likely to be pretty packed, not unlike Spring Loaded in 2021, which gave us the long-awaited AirTags, purple iPhone 12 and 12 mini, the iMac with M1 and full redesign, and the M1 XDR-equipped iPad Pros. While March 22nd is being rumoured in some circles for this event, it makes more sense to me that we could see it on March the 15th. That gives enough time for items to ship by March the 25th, hitting the Q1 numbers for products arriving at the event. So what does Apple Insider, for example, think we'll see in the spring? First off, the MacBook Air, which they rate as highly likely in the spring. The source here for the first half of 2022 rumour is Dylan DKT, who's been pretty accurate so far. Now, first half could mean WWDC, but I think, barring any more production delays, that March makes the most sense to me. The MacBook Air is most likely to be super thin in the design that Jon Prosser and Ian Zebler revealed earlier this year, and since then we've had more designs from Apple Tomorrow. With MagSafe, a couple of Thunderbolt USB-C connectors, and a headphone jack. M2 on the inside based on the A15, with 4 Blizzard efficiency cores and 4 Avalanche performance cores, along with what's likely to be a 10-core GPU, assuming the 25% core increase between the A14 and A15 iPhone Pros too. Design-wise, the MacBook Air is thought to get a new flat design, dropping the classic wedge shape, and also most likely picking up iMac-like colours, white bezels, and white keyboard. Now, for everyone saying that white keyboards would get really dirty, don't you think your black keys are dirty too? Just with white ones, you know when they need to be cleaned, rather than just wallowing in your own filth forever. Just spend a moment thinking on that. And like the keyboards, we could also be getting white bezels and maybe even a white notch. And remember here that the previous design of the MacBook Air actually had silver bezels, not black, so it wouldn't really be that much of a stretch to imagine lighter bezels here too. And there's a real possibility that that new shape means that this will actually be called the MacBook, not Air. That could leave Apple with the opportunity to relaunch and reposition the MacBook Air as a premium option, just like it was when it was actually launched in 2008. It was actually more expensive than the MacBook Pro back then. Titanium chassis and a more premium price point, maybe. We've certainly seen a lot of titanium patents recently, and it would definitely make it lighter than Air. Disclaimer, titanium is not lighter than Air, it's just kind of light for what it is. Next up, the Mac Mini. Also with high confidence from Apple Insider. So again, we've had leaks from Jon Prosser and renders by both Ian Zeblo and Apple Tomorrow on this, and just like everything else that Apple is doing, there's a nod to the past. It looks like we're getting an aluminium frame with inlaid glass or Perspex lid, which could actually be how the internals are accessed for this one, for all of the no upgrades and no repairs that you'll be able to do. The base loses the circular access panel on the bottom in favour of dual rubber strips, as well as keeping the ports from the M1 Mac Mini. It adds a couple more USB-C ports too, and the power adapter from the iMac. Inside we may well get a choice between M1 and M1 Pro or Max, and both of these make sense, and having them both in the same form factor gives Apple a very simple way to explain which chip is intended for whom. M2 is efficient, cool running and snappy, M1 Pro and Max are multi-core beasts that chew through CPU and GPU tasks like nothing else. Next, Apple Insider rates bigger iMacs as medium confidence, likely to get the same chip options as the Mac Mini, a redesign like the 24-inch iMac, mini LED displays, and darker screen surrounds. Also in the medium camp, comes iPhone SE Generation 3, the same as the iPhone 8 and SE 2, but with an A15 inside, most likely with an upgraded camera, 5G, and probably MagSafe charging too. Not that exciting, but the best phone in its price category at $399, especially if you take into account the processor speeds. They also mention the Mac Pro, but given that they're giving it a low chance of update and no one's really expecting this until at least WWDC, I feel like they're probably right with the chances being low for this one. But when we do get to see the 4SoC behemoth version with 40 CPU cores and 128 GPU cores, it's going to be a big day. I have a feeling we might also see M2 iPad Pros as well, XDR mini LED displays all around, more speed, and maybe even those glass backs to allow the charging via MagSafe, and maybe stainless steel or titanium bands around the edge. I do feel that Apple's probably going to have to move away from aluminium on the sides, purely because if they're going to have glass, then they're going to need that rigidity to make sure that it doesn't kind of bend in onto the glass and shatter it. And as I say, that one is not a prediction from Apple Insider. That's the one thing that I think is going to be coming at that event, which we've not heard anything about yet. But let me know what you're expecting to see at the March event down in the comments section, and do you think it's going to be the 15th or the 22nd of March? And let's get into some iCave answers. Josh asks, iCave answers, when I open the Apple TV Plus app and go to watch a movie, it opens but it just stays on the loading screen and doesn't even play. Does that happen to you, or do you think it will get fixed in iOS 15.2? So honestly, I've not encountered this on Apple TV Plus. The only time I've seen that kind of spinning wheel is when I'm trying to play something from the Mac over here. Even though it's on an Ethernet like wired network, it doesn't seem to like it, which is very confusing and a little bit frustrating. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure what the issue is there. Might be worth doing a reset of your Apple TV just to see if that helps. And also, if you can, use Ethernet instead of Wi-Fi for it. It makes a big difference on these. Len Adams asks, iCave answers, with the Apple Watch Series 10, will it get the flat edge, or will it stay to curved edges? There's a change notably with the display size of the watch, with version 1 from 0 to 3, version 2 from 4 to 6, and version 3 from Series 7 onwards. I really don't think we're going to be waiting that long for the redesign. Obviously, all the design work's already been done. I don't think they're just going to hold on to it for the fact that they tend to do 3 years. It might be that this is the ruggedized one that we've been hearing about. It might be that it's something completely different, but Jon Prosser has got both in a CAD file on the same file. So it's the Series 7 next to the flat-sided version. So whether it was purely a backup or whether they weren't intending to come out in the order that they have, my money is still on the 7 actually being that ruggedized one that we'd heard about. Yuri Tech asks, iCave answers, not tech-related topic, but have you heard of the Russell Howard Hour? If yes, do you like the show? I've not watched the Russell Howard Hour. Russell Howard is a comedian here in the UK from kind of Bristol area, I think. Very, very funny. I've watched him on a lot of stuff, not on the Russell Howard Hour. But check him out on YouTube, he's really good. Len Adams asks, are the smart glasses that are like regular glasses going to come in 2023 or 2024? Not a clue. I don't think it's going to be that soon, maybe 2024/2025. That would be my guess. I can't see them coming in 23, 24 at a push, 25 more likely. Len asks, considering how cheap AirTags are, how many have sold, and will it be a big concern? And will a second AirTag come where it not only works with iPhones but also watches, iPads and Macs, and somehow get thinner, have a matte finish, and besides the engravings, be sold in colours? So honestly, I don't know how many AirTags have been sold. Apple doesn't tell us, so it's impossible to know. They are low priced. Don't know of many people that have gone back to buy more. You ask about them working with watches, iPads and Macs. I'm not sure if there's a Find My app for the watch already. There definitely is for the iPad, and it works on that already. Macs, again, I think you can do it through Safari on the web, but I don't think there's like a native app. But maybe there is. Yes, it's already there. In terms of being thinner, matte finish, different colours, I don't think anyone really cares, to be honest. I don't see them going to a matte finish. That would just be weird. Nobody's really asked for a matte finish on AirPods, so I guess that would be kind of the equivalent with the plastic around the edge. Making it thinner, that would involve using a different kind of battery and probably a less durable battery that isn't going to last as long. Probably not going to do that. And in terms of colours, like, you're always pretty much going to attach it to something in a case, so it's more about what colour case you get. Don't think the colour of the AirTag itself makes too much difference. And Len asks, do you think that iTranslate, or is it Apple Translate, is way better than the thing that is Google Translate? I think they're both fine. They both do a job. I've not found any major issues with either. So yeah, they're both fine. Len Adams asks, do you think that micro browser, nano browser, weird U browser is Safari for the Apple Watch before Apple optimizes their Safari browser for the Apple Watch? I'll be honest with you, I don't want to browse the internet on this. This is not what it's for. This is for notifications and stuff. Is it handy to be able to do the odd bit every so often? I guess so. Would I want to watch YouTube videos on it? No. I don't see Apple bringing Safari over to it. If someone's made a little browser for it, brilliant, but I don't see it getting used that much. And here it is. This is our 10K t-shirt. This is kind of the design. So the Memojis are living in the dock, becoming characters in the new MacBook Pro, which I'm going to say that's probably the iconic thing of this year. So that's why we've gone with that. Let me know what you think in the comment section. If there is a change that you think we should make, let me know pretty quick, because we're going to hopefully launch it by the end of the week. Thanks ever so much for watching. Thank you to the Patreons. Join the Patreons if you want. Patreon.com/iCaveDave, and you will have seen this video ad-free.